Remember in the icebreaker video when we were pretending that you were in the hospital and you had 7 friends? The one particular friend who told you they loved you and they hugged you and said, "Is there anything you need to talk about?" Because they are here to listen and understand. That's the friend we're going to be talking about in this video and in the next 2 videos. This friend has the gift of compassion. I had told you 2 videos ago that there was a slow gift, and that is the gift of compassion. We already talked about the server and the fact that the server is fast. The compassion person is slow. I also had said that I think a server is the least likely to become a minimalist because they're so fast, so they can clean and organize and dust in no time, and that's nothing to them. Now, this is nothing that's been studied or researched as far as I know. It's just my theory. And I also told you that I think a giver is the most likely to become a minimalist because they are conservative and they would see all those extra things as unnecessary. So they would tone down their house and only have the bare minimums or not a whole lot of excess. I also think that the compassion person is most likely to become a minimalist because since they are slow, it would take them a long time to straighten their house and clean it and organize it and dust it. So, to make it easier for them, it'd be best just to be a minimalist. So, yeah, that's just my theory. And the reason a compassion person is slow isn't because they're lazy. They're soft and gentle, and I think we all need to slow down and be compassionate. The compassionate person is nice and loving and soft and gentle and kind. So, we're going to talk about the characteristics of the compassionate person. They hope and they believe and they suffer long. They don't have anything bad to say about anybody. They find the good in people and in things. And they seek only good for others. Like, for example, if they know their neighbor is a woman with 5 kids and she doesn't have enough food for them, instead of turning them in to the Child Protective Services, she's going to give them some food. And if she doesn't have any food to give them, then she will help them find a food bank or some type of organization that can find some food for her and her children. She is nice, not mean. The compassion person has love in their disposition, in their personality, their character, their good, soft temper. They're eager to believe and hope the best in others. They love animals and children. They understand what you're going through and they will not judge you for it, and they feel your pain. They will give you their last dollar. They will find the good in you if no one else will. They love unconditionally. They are in touch with their inner emotions. They understand different people's different viewpoints. They have great manners. They'll say thank you and they'll be appreciative. They'll find something in common with everybody. Probably because they're so understanding and they'll find that common ground. They forgive easily and they understand. They do not enjoy confrontations, but won't necessarily avoid them. They're friends to the friendless. They give unconditional love. They will stay by your side and give you support. They feel other people's pain and understand their problems. They put other people's needs above their own. They're a good listener. Those are some things that I came up with. Now I'm going to say the things that the book says, and then some of these are the same or similar. Has tremendous capacity to show love. Always looks for the good in people. Senses the spiritual and emotional atmosphere of a group or individual. Is attracted to people who are hurting or in distress. Takes action to remove hurts and relieve stress in others. Is more concerned for physical and emotional stress than physical stress. Is motivated to help people have right relationships with each other. Loves opportunity to give preference or place to others. For example, they might let you go in line ahead of them. Or if they have a 9 o'clock appointment and the doctor's running late, and then an elderly lady comes in at 10 o'clock who is in a lot of pain, she might say, give her my 9 o'clock appointment. You can just work me in. That was an example that was in the book. They take care with words and action to avoid hurting others. They easily detect insincerity or wrong motives. They are drawn to others with the gift of compassion. They love to do thoughtful things for others. Is trusting and trustworthy. Avoids conflicts and confrontations. Doesn't like to be rushed in a job or activity. They are slow. Now, you put a compassion person in a production job where it's all about numbers, it's all about quantity. They are not happy or comfortable. But you put a server in that type of job, they can do it with no problem and not understand why anybody else can't. Is typically cheerful and joyful, is ruled by the heart rather than the head, rejoices to see others blessed, and grieves to see others hurt. They are a crusader for good causes. They intercede for the hurts and problems of others. And a real life example of a compassion person, I'm going to say Mother Teresa. I do not know her. I have never met her. But from just what I've heard about her and read about her, I would think she has the gift of compassion. The potential problems of a compassion person, they tend to be indecisive, is often prone to take up another person's defense, is easily hurt by others, empathizes too much with the suffering of others. Their affectionate nature is often misinterpreted by the opposite gender. And an example of compassion in the Bible and in real life. And the example of compassion in the Bible, I'm going to give the Good Samaritan. Luke 10:30-35. A man was going from Jerusalem to Jericho. The robbers stole his clothes and belongings and beat him. A priest came by and did nothing. A Levite came by and did nothing. And then a Samaritan came by and dressed his wounds, put him on his own beast, and took him to an inn and took care of him and paid the innkeeper and said, if there's still money I owe you, let me know and I'll pay for it. So, yeah, that Samaritan had compassion, whether that was his primary gift or not. He was acting in compassion. An example of compassion in our real lives, when we go to work and say good morning in a nice tone, or we hold the door open for someone, or we compliment someone, or tell them how much we appreciate them. And that's all for part one, and I will see you in part two.